welcome to the Crochet Show with your host, Nikki. I am so excited to be here. We're going to talk about how to crochet the Chevron temperature table runner. So I'm going to show you step by step the very first 2 rows of the Chevron table runner, and then row 2 just repeats itself as many times as you need it, right? So let's talk about really quickly this temperature thing that I'm working on. The very first thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat is I am not a patient person, and when it comes to blankets, I am not patient. And having to do 1 row at a time every single day is a little bit daunting for my head. Really, I'm going to be honest with you. And please tell me if you're the same. There's a lot of people who really dislike temperature blankets for a few reasons. One, they know they're going to give up a few months in, weeks in, months in, whatever. And then there's a few people who simply don't like the idea of it being uneven. So think of it, OCD situation, right? Like they don't like it that it's the colors are not even distributed. It's mix and match, and it's all kind of jumbled, right? Depending on the temperature of that specific day, right? So that can be an issue, right? I totally understand that. So I'm going to do it differently, but you feel free to do it the way you like to. The way I'm going to handle it for this year will be that I'm doing weekly averages per week. So that means I'm going to take the entire week and take the average. You can use the lowest temperature, you can use the highest temperature, whatever you feel like doing is totally up to you. You don't even have to follow my specific table runner pattern, although I would love for you to do so we can all have different pictures at the very end, all using the same pattern, right? So whatever you're going to use is totally up to you. In fact, I even encourage you to use a few other things, such as if you don't like temperatures, you could use mood things. I'm going to show it to you. So first, let me show you really quickly a picture of what I'm talking about, right? I have been talking and talking, but I haven't shown you a picture. So here you can see, this is the table runner I'm going to use. I'm actually going to publish this pattern slightly separate, the exact one that you see right here, which is a seasonal table runner, but I'm going to use the pattern in order to do the temperature table runner. And I'm going to follow this temperature color scale right here, or scheme, however you want to say it, using these colors that I mentioned there. They were from We Crochet. I have everything linked in the post that is in the description. So that is the way I'm going to follow it. However, I live in Southern California, so my feeling is that I'm going to be focusing on kind of the first 3-4 colors only. I really doubt I'm going to get down to the light green or even blue or purple. Doubt it, unless I'm going to pick a different part. I could be doing this for, let's say, my family in Germany or something like that. Then I will definitely be using all of them. However, there is a way to do that in other themes, such as mood. So here's an example that I came up with for mood. So if you, let's say you want to make a project and see how were you all year long, whether it's a weekly mood chart or a daily, it's totally up to you, right? You could even use thinner yarn, so less weight, right? I'm using worsted weighted yarn, so you could be using maybe fingering weight or something. So that way you can do it daily if you wish to do so. But if you can see right here, you could use it as into a mood thing, right? So like red would be more kind of heated situation, right? And then all the way down, so you can see like, you know, sad. You're not an order or anything. I go by kind of color, what people consider color, like blue, you know, feeling blue kind of thing, right? Green is more like energetic, motivated, right? Yellow, you know, sick, tired, whatever. Orange right here would be the average or good, you know, something like you feel fine, right? Purple, joyful, really excited, something like that, right? So that's kind of the scale. You know, you can expand it if you wish. That's totally up to you. In fact, you could even change it. I have a template on the link in the description where you can even change it to a totally different tracker. So think of it like exercise tracker. You know, you can say, hey, I'm going to do 3 different colors. One is going to be, let's say, weights, you know, doing weightlifting. Other one would be running. The other one would be biking or, you know, cross country, whatever, or tennis or whatever you feel like you want to do. So you can keep track, and then you can even add one for resting or something. And then you can see if you do that like all year long, if you wish to do it every single day. That's, again, it's totally up to you. Then you can even see whether you kept up with a specific goal. In fact, I would even recommend mixing up even a little bit more and saying, you don't have to do the entire year. Why don't you just do it 30 days or 90 days? Something you working towards a goal, and you can reflect it using crochet, right? So let's say you're trying to lose a few inches here and there, and you say, okay, I'm going to do this for 90 days, and I'm going to track with my crochet according to specific colors, whatever you determine it to be, whether or not you kept up with it. Here's the thing. In my opinion, that's a really great way to keep track of things, because on a piece of paper, you can rip it out or erase it if it's like, you know, erasable. And you can kind of mess with the colors that way. But once you crochet it, I'm sure we as crocheters don't like ripping things back out. Like we don't like to frogging it, as we like to say, right? So once you have it set for a specific color, you're going to just keep going. And that way you can have an easier way to stay motivated to reach a certain goal. So I'm ready now to show you the actual pattern for the chevron table runner. I'm going to focus on just the chevron part of it. The square in the middle is a granny square, which you would do at the end, or you could even replace it with a circle, whatever you want to do, right? You can do whatever. I'm not going to focus on that for this specific video because I have a separate video for a granny square. So that would be separate, so you can check that one out. Okay, so in order to crochet the chevron table runner, which you can even make into a scarf if you wish, I have here a chain amount that is less than the pattern says, just because I don't need you to have to watch me the entire time crochet this. So I actually have 40 chains less than the pattern calls for. So the pattern calls for 61 chains. I have here 40 less, which is 21. Just so that I can still show you how the pattern works, and you know all the pieces of that. So let's get started. So it's technically the same rows. Number 1 and 2 is the same, but because this is chains, I'm going to show you 2 rows, and the second row is the one that you do over and over again. Okay, so you're going to start with the second chain from the hook, and you're going to place an alternative turning chain, which looks like this. It's a stacked single crochet. So you place a single crochet, then you insert it here, and then make another single crochet right on top. Okay, now you're going to chain 2, and in the next stitch or chain here, you're going to place 2 double crochets. You could do the entire thing also with single crochets if you wish, but I'm going to focus on double crochets. Now in the next 7 stitches, for me 7, for you it's going to be 27 if you follow the pattern on my website. Link is in the description. You're going to do 27. That means 1 double crochet per chain. So again, for me, I'm doing 7 because I have a shortened version. I even wrote in the pattern on my website how you can adjust the stitch count and the chain count so you can make it wider or shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have 1 more. And then after this, you're going to skip 2 stitches, or here 2 chains, and now you're going to do the mirror image one more time. So that means for me it is 1 double crochet, 1 per the next 7 stitches. If you follow the pattern, it is 27. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the following stitch, which is the second to last of that chain that you made. So it should be right here. I'm going to place, this is the second to last, I'm going to place 2 double crochets into that stitch, and I'm going to make a chain of 2, and in the very last stitch I'm going to place a double crochet. So the alternative turning chain at the beginning counts as a double crochet. So there we go. So this is row 1. As you can see, this is the size of a scarf, so you could do that as a scarf. You can even do, you know, if you wish to do as a temperature blanket for, let's say, weekly average, the way I do it, you can do maybe the lowest temperature here and the highest temperature here, or I'm just going to do one color throughout. Totally up to you how you're going to handle yours. So now I'm going to do row 2. It's pretty much the same thing. So you're going to start with an alternative turning chain. Now you're going to chain 2, and you're going to skip the chains that you made before and place in the next stitch 2 double crochets. And now again, you're going to do your double crochets as we've done before. So that means for me, that is 1 per stitch for 7 stitches. If you follow the pattern, it is 27. And if you look at the pattern closely while making it, you can see that once we hit here the center 2, that's where you're going to skip the 2 stitches. So right here, I'm going to skip these 2 stitches. And then the next one, we're going to repeat what we just did. So mirror image of what we just did. So that means 1 double crochet for the next 7 stitches, or if you follow the pattern, it's 27. And then right here, that is the last stitch before the chains. You're going to place 2 double crochets into it. And now you're going to chain 2 and skip those chains, and into that alternative turning chain from the previous row, you're going to place 1 double crochet. So now this is how it's going to look like. So this is the start of the chevron. Now you're going to repeat row 2 over and over and over again. You can do it the way I do it, where I pretty much just do 2 parts of the entire chevron, and then in the center of it I have the granny square. So if you want, you can do it into a scarf and skip the granny square altogether. I have a separate tutorial for the granny square, so make sure you check that one out. And yes, I would love to know. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're going to use it for, and whether or not you're going to stick with temperatures, with mood, or a different tracker. I would love to know. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Be sure to check out the link in the description. Like, comment, share, and follow. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the bell to get a notification next time I publish a new video or go live. I hope to see you then. Bye!